Hi there. In today's video, we are discussing one of the biggest obstacles that 90% of the people today have that keeps them from achieving their goals, and that is the fear of failure. I am Jodi. I'm a transformational life coach here to help you create the life of your dreams. And today we are talking about the fear of failure. 90% of the people that I know, and it's probably even a higher number than that, have a fear of failure. And we all have this fear. We have this fear of not matching up, of not living up to our potential, to not showing everybody how great we are, to not doing more than our parents did, and not making people not worry about us because we're doing so great all the time. But failure in and of itself is an illusion, because there's all sorts of types of failure. And unless you're in a ditch somewhere and you have some kind of addiction problem and you can't pull yourself out, then you're really just talking about society failures. And let's use, say, marriage as an example. Let's say that you're in a marriage and it's been going on for however many years or months or weeks or whatever, and it's not working out. Is it a failure? See, everyone will say, yeah, my marriage failed and I got divorced. And then why do we have to see it as a failure? Why can't we see it as a revolution, as a way of saying, like, we tried something and it didn't work out, therefore we moved on? Isn't it better to think of it that way? That yes, it didn't work out, but you're not a failure at marriage. You're not a failure in life because you got divorced. Failure is in and of itself an illusion. Like I said, unless you are completely rock bottom where you can't take care of yourself and you can't survive a life because of addictions or whatever the problem is. But even then, like some of the homeless people out there who are dealing with all sorts of mental problems and they can't get their medication, they don't know how to ask for help, or they ask for help and they can't find it. Have they really failed at life? A lot of us would say yes, but I say maybe not. Maybe they just haven't found that place that helps them to be all that they can be. That doesn't mean that they've failed. Failure is an illusion. If you have a business and the business isn't doing exactly the way that you wanted it to, and you try really, really hard to grow it and to make it better, and it just doesn't work and you have to close the business, yes, that is a disappointment. And yes, that feels like a great failure. But in all actuality, it's just something else that happened in your life. So choosing to accept that failure is an illusion, it's a lie that we tell ourselves, then you can understand that the fear of something that isn't real isn't worth having. So I read an article a long time ago, and it was written by a man who had a great fear of asking women out. I'm sorry that I can't cite the article because I just remembered it. And I don't even know how to look for it because it's been a really long time since I've read it. But his psychologist told him he had a fear of asking women out. He was very shy, very introverted, but he really wanted to be in a relationship and he wanted to find a way to attract women, but he was terrified of asking them out. So his psychologist asked him, tell me why you're afraid of asking women out. And he said, because what if they say no? And he says, but what if they don't? How will you ever know? He goes, it terrifies me. He goes, okay, then I want you to learn to fail. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go out this weekend and you're going to ask out 30 women. And of those 30 women, just for coffee, do you mind getting coffee with me? And no matter how scared you are, no matter how much anxiety it gives you, I want you to do it anyway. What ended up happening was he ended up getting all of these dates for women with coffee. They kept saying yes. And he was completely shocked. And there were some that said no, but he said they were so kind in their delivery. Like, I'm married, or I'm sorry, I'm in a relationship with somebody. I would really love to, though. was so nice of you to ask. Like, he just was so amazed at how pleasant women could be when you were kindly asking. And he went to the mall even, and it was like a thing at the mall. Like, he was just going to ask him for coffee at Starbucks, but he had more coffee dates than he knew what to do with. And then his therapist, and the ones that had said no, he came back and said, did it feel like you failed to the ones that said no? And he said, absolutely not. Because failure is an illusion. If someone tells you, no, I don't want to go out with you, you haven't failed at anything. You simply haven't achieved what you want yet. And that's the thing. You may be in a place in your life sometimes where you feel like you're hitting rock bottom, but it's really just an illusion. Because you can start over and everything can happen again. So one of the biggest problems that my clients face is that they have this dream life that they want to create. And they have their focus on that dream life, because that's what I teach them to do. Keep your focus on that. But a lot of times what I see is them not moving forward towards what it is that they want. They're finding all of these distractions. And what it comes down to is a fear of failure. They like the dream that they want to achieve this thing. But the idea of screwing up in the interim and not achieving it will kill that dream that they have. So let's say that they have a dream of being a life coach. I'm just using this as an example. They have a dream of being a life coach like I am. Yet they refuse to keep moving forward, and they just make up all of these reasons as to why they don't want to quit their job, why they don't want to move forward, why they are too busy to do the things that they need to do in order to do it, why their mind can't focus on their websites and their different things, okay? It's just an example, but the reason is that they like it so much that they're afraid they're going to do something to screw it up and then they won't like it anymore. That is a very big obstacle for the fear of failure, that you're going to fail something along the way, that you're going to screw something up getting there that is going to make you no longer even want that particular goal any longer. And that, my friends, is a terrible place to be in. And you have a choice to not allow yourself to do that. Another big problem with the fear of failure is the fear of disappointing those we love. We're fear of disappointing our spouse, our kids, our parents, our siblings, our co-workers, all of that, who just loves us so much and they just want the best for us. And we're just so afraid of failing at anything because we'll disappoint them or have to tell them or maybe even get judged by them. But let's be honest, we live in a really judgy world, right? And if we focus all of our attention on all the ways that people judge us, then we will never be able to succeed. So we have to let what other people's ideas for our lives, what they want for us, how they want us to succeed, how they even love us in that way, we have to let it go. Because what other people need is for you to be happy. And so you may fail along the way. You may fail, but know that that's okay. When you think of like Steve Jobs, you know, he had a whole computer system that he was selling that was only in his head because he just wanted it so badly. He wanted this particular computer platform. Gosh, which one was it? It was one of the older ones. But it really was just in theory. And he wasn't the one who was going to be programming them and making them, but he just was telling his team, you're doing this. And he was selling computers before it was even engineered because he believed it could happen and he wasn't afraid of failure. And he did fail and he didn't care. He moved on and he made more and more and more things. You look at all of the really, some of the greats like Elon Musk, failure is in his history, okay? Failure happens, but you just don't look at it like that. It is just something that is part of our development. If you really have a hard time with failure, my suggestion is to go out and do whatever you can to fail a little bit every day. Do something to make a mistake. Do something that you know probably won't be able to achieve. Just try it and see how you survive and how well you do on making those mistakes, on not getting through something that you planned on getting through with, on not achieving everything on your list. That's all considered failure, right? We failed to be able to do something. Get used to failure. What's the worst case scenario of something that can happen? Think about the worst case scenario. Is it really the worst case scenario? Is it really, really that bad? Now, when it comes to health and things like that, yes, there are things that can definitely stomp us and push us down and say, yeah, this is the worst thing that could happen, is death. And so I say to that, that's probably not a part of anything that you're doing for your end goal and what you want to create either. Okay. I'm Jodi with Enlightenya. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that this helps you figure out how you can get over your fear of failure. One of the biggest obstacles. It's just the biggest challenge for all of us. I suffer with this too. I don't want to fail at anything. I want to achieve the things that I want to achieve. I want to move forward. I want to be happy. I want to be all of that, but I do fail. I fail a lot. Life has pushed me down just like it has you, but I rise, and so will you. I love you guys. Have a great week. Bye.